Okay, everybody, we got some soccer action for you on Wednesday. No, it's not Champions League qualifiers. Believe it or not, that's already started this week. Bigger than that. World Cup semifinal match 2 this week. It's in Atlanta, and it's England and Argentina. The Falklands War, the hand of God. Boy, there's some history here, and can't wait to get to this one on Wednesday in Atlanta. Number 2 World Cup semifinal. I'm Bruce Marshall. We'll get to talking about that in just a second. First of all, though, as always, a couple of quick housekeeping reminders. Don't forget, click that subscribe button on your screen there, and you can get all of our Wager Talk TV videos. And don't forget, we got this special deal going right now, and it kicks into gear more later this week after the All-Star break when my Major League Baseball picks will start up again. Have a good run in Major League Baseball. 3 days, $69. All my picks. We'll add 3 days on top of that. That's 6 days for $69. Pretty good deal there. World Cup picks all the way through the final on Sunday. Baseball picks resuming again on Friday after the All-Star break. Let's get to this one. Let's get to this Argentina and England matchup in Atlanta, semifinal 2 on Saturday. Argentina, the only non-UEFA team, non-Euro team still left in the World Cup. We'll see what happens here. We talked briefly a second ago about the little bit of an interesting history between these two. One interesting note is Lionel Messi has never faced England in his career, so this will be a first time for him. So something else to think about here. As you can see on the crawl at the bottom of the screen, prices are pretty tight here. England a slight favorite, but you're still getting about a plus 160 on the three-way for England to win in 90 minutes. A little over plus 200 on the Argentina side to win, 205, draw at plus 195 to advance. We see England priced about minus 138 or so, and Argentina about plus 110. So that would account if this match gets into extra time or penalty kicks. So that's something else to think about there. The total at 2.5 goals, and that is shaded slightly to the under. We'll talk about that one a little bit more in a minute. You can see some correct scores there, some interesting ones there, and some goal scorers as well. So we'll probably touch upon that as well a little bit later in the video here. First of all, though, let's take a look at this matchup and how these teams got here and what Argentina is doing here. First of all, that's the first thing I want to get to. Argentina. I don't want to sound like one of these conspiracy theorists, and I'm not, but I am just about up to here with Argentina seeming to catch every single break in the tournament thus far. First of all, the road here to the semifinal, I have never seen any World Cup side get to a semifinal missing as many landmines as Argentina has. It's not Argentina's fault. They can only play who's been in front of them. But their group play was pretty soft. Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. I don't think they've played a side ranked higher than 20. They didn't play a side ranked higher than 23rd nationally. I think that was Austria. In the knockout run, Cape Verde and Egypt, extremely hard work with both of those. And Switzerland, we'll get more to that in just a second. Switzerland, a side that came in without its most electric component, Johan Manzambi, who I think could have changed that match around. And as we saw what happened, we'll get to that in a second, losing their other top scorer, Breel Mbolo, about midway in the second half. So Switzerland was down, its top goal scorers there. Speaking of the Switzerland match, listen, we talked about some of the other stuff with Argentina before, and I think it's pure bollocks, some of what's been going on with VAR here and how they reversed that decision and they took away the Egypt goal in the Egypt match, although Egypt came back and scored another right after that. But a huge break there for Argentina, and I think they caught a break with the Mbolo sending off in the Switzerland game. Now, I know there's some people who say, look, Mbolo took a dive there. Maybe he did. I would point out, though, first of all, in VAR, life and the games are not played at super slow motion. They're played bang, 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 fast speed, real time. And guys sometimes lose balance. They fall. Maybe he embellished it a little bit, but I agree with Murat Yakin, Switzerland's coach, that did not warrant a yellow. That did not warrant a yellow card for Paredes on Argentina either. They should have let that go. Maybe just a foul, but not a yellow card. And because it was a yellow, then it got into the review process, and then the mistaken identity thing came up. And because Mbolo had gotten another yellow card earlier, and that was sort of an iffy play too. Bang, bang, ran by the guy. He's out. And At that point of the match in the second half, Switzerland had taken complete control of that match. They were dominating play. They were dominating possession. They were getting deep into the penalty box. Dan Ndoye had just scored a couple of minutes before that. Granit Xhaka was running the show. It looked to me like Switzerland was going to win that match, and they had the possession and they had all the momentum. When Embolo went out, it changed everything. Everything. And I'm looking at some pundits and reading what they're saying about it, that Argentina, well, they were so dominant after that. Look, what Jochen did down to 10 men, it was sort of what Thomas Tuchel did with England down in Mexico the previous Sunday. Now, England had a lead in that matchup, and Jochen was sitting at 1-1, but he realized if he's down 10 men and you still got Lionel Messi on the other side, and by the way, Switzerland did a very good job keeping Messi in check throughout that match. His alternative was do what Tuchel did. He's going to make substitutions for defense. Took out some attackers, went defense, straight line five at the back. They started playing for penalty kicks not long after Embolo went out and down to 10 men. And so that meant about 20 minutes of the second half plus another 9 minutes or so of added time. And then you got to get through 30 minutes of extra time as well. So they were asking this setup to go about an hour to hold Argentina at bay and get to PKs where Gregor Kubel, they would be very confident with him in goal. Would have been a great shootout with him and Martinez the other way. But they had confidence they could win after the knocking out to Colombia. Didn't quite work out. They got about 42 minutes of keeping Argentina off the board. Then Alvarez hit that belting shot there. What a shot that was from Julian Alvarez. And that put Argentina ahead. And then they scored, that breakaway the last second by Lautaro. Very deceiving 3-1 final. But I thought Argentina, again, caught every break in that matchup. This is going to be different here. First of all, this is a better side. And Switzerland, I think, had Manzambi played, I think they probably would have beaten Argentina. I really do. And I think they could have beaten them if Embolo doesn't get sent off. England is a better side. England is a better side than Argentina. They have got more pace. They've got more depth. I know Messi's magic is something else, but there's, watch Argentina play sometime. The team has to compensate for some things that Messi's not doing anymore. On defense, he barely moves around. He's just like a stick figure almost out in the field. To be expected. Now, he can do that magic when he has the ball at the other end of the pitch. Switzerland, though, did a pretty good job keeping him contained. And England, after keeping Erling Haaland pretty well slowed down in that matchup on Saturday in Miami, they're confident they can do the same to Messi. Now, we know Thomas Tuchel came out and said my team was lucky to win that matchup on last week on Saturday against Norway. Thinks they could have played better, but he did admire their resilience, and that's one thing that I like about this England side. Yeah, I think they could have played better, but look, in this stage of the World Cup, all these games are tough. So Jude Bellingham kind of said, we won the matchup. That's all that mattered. How about Bellingham? He is now in the race for the Golden Boot. He's on 6 goals. He's not that far behind Mbappe and Messi and Kane. And he could certainly be the MVP of the tournament as well, the way he's going. Big goals. We've seen that from Bellingham in the past. He's used to the big stage from being at Real Madrid. He won a Champions League with them a couple of years ago. He is really coming up big. It's not just Harry Kane now. It's Jude Bellingham. And some of the changes that Thomas Tuchel is making, he's got the bench to do things. He's been juggling around some players. He's been able to compensate for that problem that England's had at the right back spot. But he's gotten some pretty good efforts from lots of guys. Jed Spence has come in off the bench. We've seen Gordon. We've seen Saka. We'll see how Declan Rice is doing because he had to come off early. He'll have a few more days to rest, and I think he should be on the pitch as well. But England has pace. They have depth, and I think this is where Argentina gets found out. And even though England, listen, it was a tough match against Norway. Norway's a tough side to beat. They came through it. And I still harken back to that Mexico win in the round of 16 as showing that this England side is made of sterner stuff. Maybe it is coming home to England. I don't know. We shall see. England looking for its second straight final appearance because they were in the finals of the Euros 2 years ago as well. We will see. What are my recommendations here? England, and I'm just going to go 90 minutes on this one. We could go England to advance. I think they're going to win this thing in 90 minutes. I'm confident in that, and that's a decent price, plus 160 or so I will go with that. I would also go over, and I think, that probably could have gone over against Norway pretty easily the other day in Miami. But I think they will find some holes in this Argentina defense, which has not impressed me much at all the last few. And like I said, Switzerland had gained control. Look, they're going to score again after they got that first one until Mbola went out. I think over 2.5 goals is there. There's always the Messi factor. And yes, Alvarez has finally shown up in the tournament for Argentina. They could cause a problem. Lautaro, Inter Milan, is there, capable as well. I just think England is going to outscore Argentina, and I think this is going to get over. Look, that goal price on Bellingham, too. Come on. I mean, he is scoring big goals every game now. You're getting a plus 300 on him to score again. He's timing those runs into the box just perfectly. Any fumble by the goalie on a long shot into the box there, he's going to be there to pounce upon it. I think him to score is a pretty good price as well. And, England on the 2-1. You get a pretty good price there for England on 2-1 as well. So I could see that as well as the flyer pick to make in this one. England, Argentina. I think England advances to the final. We will see. Okay. Don't forget, as always, if you got some comments for me, hit the comment box down on the screen. I would love to hear from you. And don't forget that special deal, 3 days, $69. We'll add 3 days free of my pick, 6 days for $69. Remember, Major League Baseball will kick it back up into gear after the All-Star break. And of course, World Cup through the final on Sunday. So that'll do it for now. And until next time, it's a goodbye from me.